Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert, where we discuss the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the overall market so that you stay informed in the world of Web3. My name is Web3 Spud, and today we have a very, very special guest coming all the way from Thailand tonight. Please welcome Eno, the Fresh Prince of Stablecoins. Please say hello to our community.
Hey, how are you doing, Crypto Saving Expert viewers? I'm very happy to be here today. Spud invited me on the. Is this a podcast technically?
What do we call
On the
it?
show? On the show.
Live show.
Spud was gracious enough to invite me on the live show, and I'm excited to talk shit and talk. Am I allowed to cuss in here?
Man. I'm excited to pick your brains. And also from the chat, guys, if you've got any questions as we go along for Eno or myself, please ask, man. It'll be awesome to pick Eno's brain, especially. I know he's got lots of hidden alpha. We've just got to dig it up. So brilliant. Where do we start? Let's head straight into the news, guys. Also, if you have any altcoins, any news stories you want us to have a look at, drop them in the chat and we'll get through to them. So yeah, let's get going. So today, Ethereum gas reaches highest price in 7 months. The GUI has soared in December, reaching its highest price since May. So obviously, this is due to congestion with the chain. Ethereum gas has soared in December, increasing by an approximately 86% in the past month. This is absolutely crazy. I know you have a lot of strong opinions on gas fees and Ethereum as a chain, and perhaps some competitors that we're into. But was there a time while you were trading that a gas fee that you paid, and you check your wallet again and you looked and you went, wow, how have I paid that much? And I think people, even last night I saw in our trading group, people are paying gas fees of $200 plus. Absolutely crazy, man. I've recently paid one of $60, and I thought that was crazy. I thought if Ethereum 2.0 was supposed to solve this, man. So what's your opinion?
This is why early on I was such a fan of XRP back in the day, because I come from more traditional mobile payments, and over there it's like the transaction fees are sub penny, and so when I was looking at the ETH ecosystem for the first time, I didn't quite understand, wait, how can transaction fees be so high? And it's just a single application takes up this much block space, then everyone else is kind of fucked. I'm not so sure if you're familiar with localized fee markets on Solana, but they make it so even if there is a huge event, let's say the Mad Lads NFT mint months ago, that it's kind of localized to this event and doesn't slow down performance in the rest of the chain. And that just makes a lot of sense to me. So yeah, gas fees are a big, not going to make it.
No, you're not going to make it. And I think if we go down here, we can look at some of the culprits behind why the network was so congested. We've called them gas guzzlers here. You've got Uniswap placed number one as the top gas guzzler with 1.67 million in ETH spent across 37,800 users in the last 24 hours. That's crazy, isn't it?
That is insane. That is insane.
And then if we go down further, we've got Tether placed fourth on the list with 695,000 as well. And then you've got USDC a little bit lower with 11th place. We don't see the same problems with ISK, just saying.
Yeah.
But guys,
thank you very much, sir.
We're dropping some alpha. We'll get onto ISK a little bit later today once we've gone through the news.
Could you imagine if Jupiter took up this much in fees over a 24-hour period? People would riot on Solana. They'd be like, "That's the end of your." There's no way that would not work for us.
It would stop dead in the water. It's crazy. It's crazy for me that people still talk about Don't get me wrong, short term, medium term Ethereum. I still play around with. I still like stuff that's building on Ethereum.
Yeah.
Personally, though, once we look past 5 years, I see it as a redundant chain. This is not financial advice, guys. This is just my opinion. But I do see Ethereum as a redundant chain, and a lot of people are saying There's going to be the flippening, etc. I just see other layer ones really take Ethereum's place, and I know it gets thrown around a lot about the ETH killer, but with what we're seeing at the moment, I don't see a future with fees this high.
Well, it just kind of depends on who wins the decentralization war. And what I mean by that is the only chain that I feel really thinks about decentralization to that level of fidelity is the ETH community. Like, of course, decentralization matters to the Solana community as well. But like, here, let me just give you an example of what I mean by like, it really matters to the ETH community. So from our perspective as a stablecoin operator, like we're more than happy with decentralizing our reserves, right? But like ETH folks take it like a step or two even deeper, where they're like, the underlying collateral for the stablecoin itself needs to be decentralized as well. And then like there's so many layers of abstraction you can go deeper to, where like an ETH maxi will take it to its logical extreme. It's all like everything is decentralized, from the collateral to the stablecoin to the distribution mechanism to the governance, just everything, right? So there, I don't know. I guess if they convince enough people to think on their terms, then there is a future for ETH. But I am growing increasingly skeptical that the decentralist maxis are going to win in today's world. So I wish them the best, though.
Brilliant. I think, yeah, it's strong words from myself saying ETH will be a redundant chain. Perhaps I don't mean that in an entirety, but I do see these other layer ones come through and kind of may perhaps be the ETH killer. And especially, I don't allow any chat of the flippening around me. I don't believe in
Sure.
it. Let's head over to the next story for today. So A16Z predicts trends coming in 2024 for crypto. So the venture capital firm has given its trend predictions for next year. So let's head down here. So an overhaul in trends. So A16Z stated 9 trends it was eyeing for next year that could prosper in the industry, with AI and GameFi in the list. I think AI for me has been on the radar even throughout the bear market. We've seen some of these coins go through spectacular growth with very little behind what they've got. People just it's got AI in it, chucking money at it. So for me, I think the AI market is slightly priced in already. But that's not to say, AI is likely going to change the world we live in, and already has. So perhaps, there is plenty of scope there. Guys, if you've got any AI projects, any AI tokens, drop them in the chat. It'd be really interesting to see any new projects come up as well. GameFi, obviously, super big, and we saw a little bit of GameFi getting its, jumping up in popularity during 2021, during the last bull run as well. But we briefly spoke recently, about some trends that we expect to come good in 2024. Where are you, placing your chips right now?
I mean, like you and I have talked about this a lot, but we're both placing our chips in the RWA market for sure. There's so many pilots that are becoming actual products in the United States, and very obviously a poor regulatory environment in the United States. However, in terms of RWA, like there are real institutions, real institutional money that's going to go into RWA, and that's just going to be a whole boon for for Web3 in general. So looking super forward to that.
What are some of your concerns with RWA? Before I have stood on the sidelines. For me, a lot of it was surrounding regulation, but now I guess we see that regulators are willing to work with the crypto world. What are some of your worries about real world assets right now?
Yeah, I'm kind of more concerned about like, are the other RWAs only going to be allowed to be traded with other whitelisted wallets, or is it going to be more like a permissionless structure? I think what we want to see is people who live in countries that don't have access to complex financial markets, like actually having access to financial instruments that they wouldn't otherwise have access to. The blockchain is like the perfect delivery system for this. Like it kind of sucks that the highest quality financial instruments are only available to like a small portion of population of the world. And I do understand that there's like some money laundering and maybe some counterterrorism concerns that we have to take into consideration. But like certainly we should open up more RWAs to the world just in general, right? And if we could do that through the block permissionlessly, that would be great. I'm just concerned it's moving towards a completely permission structure, in which case, like, really, what's the difference between like the way that we used to distribute RWA through brokers versus like Web3? I mean, the technology stack is different, but it's essentially the same system. So I hope it's more permissionless.
Nail on the head there, man. Nail on the head. Really good summary. We've got Crypto Davo, ISK to the moon. Big up. Shout out, Davo. We also have Jerome in the chat. I have no AI tokens. Phil, I need to address the gap. So guys, if you have any AI token suggestions for Jerome, drop them in the chat. We speak a lot about finding altcoins and tokens also in CSE Plus. So make sure to join CSC Plus, guys. Join the Discord. We've coming up to around 200 members now, growing really quick. So
how's the performance been for CSC Plus? You got to tell me more. I've actually been super curious about how this has been going. How's it been going?
We're gonna have to get you in. I know you're a super busy man, but we're gonna have to get you in the Discord because Jordan's been, that Martini guy has been absolutely killing it in his tradings channel in there as well. He took, I believe it was either 20 or 50K up all the way up to almost $1 million. He got a little bit greedy and it's back down to about 500, 600 now in the space of a few weeks. And we've got some absolute brilliant traders in the group as well. So a lot of them here are in the chat as well. Some really good guys. And also we're running our affiliate scheme soon. So there's extra ways for members to make money. Even apart from that, the CSE Plus, we have courses on coding, and some more in-depth courses for them, just for that premium learning as well. But it's nice to be around a group and you look around, everyone's super ambitious, like the events we go to, people with like-minded, ambitions, they all congregate together, and it's really good to, stronger together, have a good group of you. So super bullish on CSE Plus.
Wait, can I ask you a couple more questions? Like, I feel like you're going to move on, but I actually can I just ask you like a couple of rapid fire questions?
Go.
Oh, cool. So rapid fire question number one is like, what kind of alpha do you guys share in the chat group? Like, what can I expect going in there?
So altcoin research, obviously, I come from an altcoin background. So we like to find low caps, discuss also, like we discussed here, we like to discuss niches. So we do weekly AMAs as well, where we talk about altcoins. Recently, a lot of the talk was around real world assets. I'm very heavy on NXRA, but I was looking for something a little bit more of a low cap. I won't mention names in case they don't want their name mentioned on live. But one of the traders from the group, he came to me with the ticker was Rio, another real world asset, very low market cap, 2 million. Guess what? I put $1,000 in it. Next week, 2x, and and it's just nice because the theory is if you're in a wolf pack, there's eyes looking everywhere. If you're by yourself, you've only got vision on one part, and that's what I like to see about CSE Plus. I see it as a wolf pack. We've got eyes everywhere, and then there's information dropping back into the group, and then you can make your own decision from it there. So that's for me is the biggest strength for CSE Plus. It's those trusted traders. We have, it's almost like a brotherhood. You have that trust within each other that they're not going to shill you a stupid project. They're going to put their research in, and they're going to say, yeah, do some research on this. Together we do a research, and often together as a group we come out with, yeah, I'm going to invest in this. I think this would be a good level.
So this is like an alpha like strategy trading group, and then everyone contributes, and then it's okay. That's sick. Get me in there, bro.
Yeah, exactly that. And even when it comes down to guys, what stable coin should I hold, or what obviously is what wallet what hardware wallet is the best? Have you guys ever have you had KYC issues? We go through all of these, and obviously, as a premium member, you can book one-to-one calls. with us all as well. And the weekly AMAs, as you know, we just hopped off a Spaces with your team with ISK, which was great. The more contact, the more everyone's speaking to each other, the stronger, the cleverer we're going to be. So,
Yeah,
super
absolutely.
bullish on CSC Plus.
So trends for next year: AI, GameFi, and real world assets. So maybe we can do AI games where you get paid out in RWA. I don't fucking know. That would raise
Whoa.
200, $300 million.
That sounds
A16Z, hit me up.
We do have a gaming project which we're going to announce soon to our community. The only problem I find with gaming projects is they are competing with some of these absolute giants in Web 2 as we would call it. It's super hard to compete, but as soon as we get that backing from perhaps the other gaming giants, obviously GTA 6 came out recently. I believe there's some involvement with crypto there. But yeah, that's watch this space for me. Real world assets.
Yeah.
And let's head over to the next story today.
Oh, so Jamie.
Jamie's back. Jamie Dimon's back. So the CEO of JP Morgan has condemned cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. So on Wednesday, he stated the only true use case is criminals, drug traffickers, money laundering, and tax avoidance. In response to this, his thoughts on the industry. This is crazy, and I thought we were past this. I had to look on the date here because I thought this article was perhaps from 2015 or something.
Yeah, right.
It's crazy that we're still getting this kind of information. These kind of articles from really notable figures still posted.
Yeah, and I mean, there's just so many comments here. Like, first of all, what the fuck, Jamie? Like, he's generally regarded in the American business world as a very clear-headed thinker, someone who likes to get into his hands dirty in terms of like details, and just like there's so many factual and just misunderstandings across the board. Like, number one, right? Like, and no one actually thinks that Bitcoin transactions are anonymous anymore, right? Like, if you still like, that's very much like a 2016 point of view. It's like everyone knows like that they're some of the most trackable transactions now, especially with the tools that are being developed. It's like, what are you talking about, right? And second of all, it's all like Bitcoin's not something you can shut off, dum-dum. There's no switch,
Yeah.
So yeah, the government ain't gonna do shit about it. Not that they could.
No.
I also have a really interesting story about Coinbase later if you want me to tell it. But no, I'll let you get back to it.
No, awesome, man. Yeah, let's I'll just pull up some figures here. It says the UN estimates that annually between 2% and 5% of global GDP is used for illicit activities, including money laundering and through the traditional banking system and cash. And then it says here less than 1% of transactions in crypto are illicit. So guys, if someone's telling you not to do something, there may be a reason for it, And it's funny, I have a friend who works at JP Morgan in London. Once again, I won't say your name, won't get you in trouble, but shout out to you if you're watching. Don't worry, I won't dox you. But he works with JP Morgan, and each week they have newsletters sent out to them that they're there to read and to educate themselves on. Guess what? One of them's on crypto, and that goes out to the whole company, I believe. So they're obviously wanting to keep in touch with it. Perhaps this is a generation thing. Perhaps Jamie Dimon will go. The new generation will come in and it will be super pro crypto. But let me know what you guys think in the chat as well. We've got Jerome said ETH is mooning right now. We'll have a little look at the markets in just a second. We've got a few more stories to go through. But you said about the Coinbase story. Is this to do with this story here?
No, it's the first time that it's a story from the first employee at Coinbase. So he was talking about how in the early days there was like probably 10 employees at this point in time. A regulatory agency who I won't mention walked into Coinbase's doors and then got in a room with Brian and the rest of the upper up the higher ups and asked them very politely to turn off Bitcoin. And then Brian and the exec team had to spend the next few hours explaining to them how Bitcoin works, and that no, they could not, in fact, turn it off.
Oh, man.
Which I think is it's a great story that just demonstrates the lack of sophistication on the regulator side. Like I actually do think that contrary, this is probably a very unpopular opinion, but I do think that regulators are trying to do good. I don't think that they're trying to create evil in the world. They're trying to protect consumers. It's just that their scope is too wide, which means that it's very hard for the agencies to have a very clear point of view, especially on something that's as changing as quickly as crypto. Like, to be fair, professionals in the space have a hard time keeping up. So for the regulators, especially cross-chain and everything, like, I get that that's a huge, and they're understaffed, and like I totally empathize, but also, how do you turn off Bitcoin? You know, like, so.
And also with cryptocurrency, you know, how do you incentivize these crypto geniuses to work for the regulators? If they're you know that in tune with cryptocurrency, they're probably going to make their money their own way, aren't they? So that's the issue we have as well. Hiring quality staff is going to be expensive. But yeah, let's head over to the next news story today. So this is some bullish news, guys. So Lugano in Switzerland, taxpayers are able to settle bills in Bitcoin and Tether. Yeah, so this is amazing. We're going to see this happen more and more. We're going to, you know, Latin America especially is already taking place. We're going to see it in emerging countries soon as well. I'd like to see this happen more in Asia, Africa especially. What's your opinion on this, you know, as well? And do you see this, you know, will this even be news in 5 years' time? Will it just be the standard that, you know, certain demographics accept crypto for tax?
Yeah, no, I think this is going to be the standard going forward. It's going to take some countries like the United States, my home country, a while to catch up, I think, to the rest of the world, unfortunately, on this one. But Lugano's a ski town, right?
Yeah. It's a very small. I believe the population is something around, I want to say 30,000.
Yeah, no, I heard about this story. So I heard about the story from the Hong Kong Hacker House. So I just came back from the Hong Kong Hacker House, and I was speaking with a representative of another stablecoin company that I won't mention here. Mm-hmm. And he was telling me that one of the co-founders of Tether, I don't know if I might be getting some details wrong here, but he was telling me that one of the co-founders of Tether has a ski resort town that's his favorite town in the world. And he convinced all the merchants there. He just spent a bunch of bags convincing all the merchants there to accept USDT payments. And the only reason why he did that is because he goes there to ski so often. He wanted to be able to, you know, spend his bags and his favorite city. That would be like me enabling ISC payments in Chiang Mai, like, because it's my favorite city in the world, you know, which is like, I didn't know it was Lugano though, so I just learned something new today. So the name of the city is Lugano. That's fucking hilarious.
It. That's the one. Yeah, awesome.
Imagine like if CSC had a token, right? So the equivalent of this would be if Jordan had a token called Jor, right? Or Race or something like that. Jordan has a token called so that martini guy has a token called Race, right? So that martini guy, he Race is now worth $87 billion, and then he convinces Silverstone to accept Race tokens as payment. That's essentially what they did in Lugano. That's freaking hilarious. We'll
probably check on Dex tools after this call, and there will be a new pairing Race.
Yeah, right. Is that martini guy not going to release a Race token? Has that not happened yet?
I think if he did, it would be secret now.
Okay, I see.
No.
That's not Alpha Guy. That is not Alpha Guys. That was completely made up. Completely made up. I was just fucking around. I apologize. I was just joking.
But yeah, no, this is super bullish in my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing more and more of it. And I think while we're on this subject, you know, obviously you just mentioned, you know, you grew up in the States, spend a lot of time in Chiang Mai, Singapore, Korea as well. So you know, you really get to see, and even ourselves, you know, we met in Taiwan, in Taipei. You really understand, you know, a lot of different markets. Obviously coming to Amsterdam recently for Solana as well. So I feel like you've got a foot in the Asian market, the European market. Do you still have a foot in the American market as well? Would you say?
I would say I'd have my ear to the ground, but I wouldn't say I'm immersed. I mean, it is by every metric the largest market.
Yeah.
In terms of capital, in terms of transaction volume, but that being, and so what's your angle? What you trying to ask?
No, so my angle here is obviously you see a lot of the markets, and where are you? Are you bullish? Does the bull market begin in Asia, or do you think it is varied?
Yeah. So my feelings on this are very emotional and complex. And I don't know how much of this is logical, but it's kind of like I get a sense that the real builders are all in the West. And like in the East, I feel like we're kind of tech support / middle management. So like it kind of feels like a lot of like the innovation, the ideas, they're coming from the West, but a lot of the execution is coming from our side. So it's all like, because Web3 teams really do leverage decentralized work. So work from home, I mean, most Web3 companies operate in this way. And so I just notice a lot of leadership teams based in the West, like America and Europe, and like a lot of like the working level seems to be in Asia. But am I
so much development talent over in the East for sure?
Yes, and it's a lot cheaper too. It's a lot cheaper. Even Korean developers, I mean, they don't cost as much as a Silicon Valley developer. And to be honest with you, there still hasn't been enough, I think, talent coming from like, this sounds weird to say, but traditional trad tech, into Web3. But it's coming. It's coming. Like there are more and more people who I've known in my Web2 life that are like making the leap to crypto, which is like very strange to see. But people you would have expected to make that leap are making the leap.
Wow.
So yeah, very, very bullish indeed.
Thanks for that. We'll head over to the markets page now. I can see in the chat a few people are saying Bitcoin and Ethereum are pumping. We'll have a quick look at them, and then we'll go through, and I will let really go into detail on ISK guys as well.
Dude, they're not lying though. It is pumping. It is pumping. You should check it out. Yeah.
There we go. Right, brilliant. We're heading up to 44K.
Who said Bitcoin was pumping? Relax, guys.
I think they've probably got some buys in at 43. They're hoping for 44, aren't they? I see. Let's go on the DGEN 1 minute chart here, guys. So yeah, we're still in this range, in my opinion, guys. I think if I can zoom out a little bit of this, I still see us hanging around between 44 and 42K until we break the resistance or support. We're going to be hanging around here. I'd like to see us bust through 44K, but unfortunately, I think for myself, the more likely outcome right now is perhaps we hang around the 42, and then we end up around the CME gap as well, and then that's when I'm going to be putting in my long. Happy days up to 45K. But once again, guys, you got to ask yourself right now, are you, especially if you're holding spot, are you more scared to sell your assets right now, or are you more scared buying more assets right now? For me, I'm timid of selling my assets right now. So that shows me, medium term, long term, super bullish still, guys. So, unless you're day trading, scalping, zoom out. Just zoom out. I think we're going to see 50K around Christmas. Once again, not financial advice. If you guys want to get into, where the best take profit levels are, where you should enter, join CSC Plus. There's some great traders. I can see a lot of you in the chat. We've got Rainer, who's been on a seriously good uptrend with his trading recently. Done some amazing ones. Buying higher and higher feels weird. It does, for sure. No one wants to buy the top. Scalping the 3 minute chart as a true DGEN. Awesome, my guy. Put on the 1 minute, go even more DGEN. And yeah. Oh, Jerome, we've got Spud is cool. Thank you, bro. What about you?
Dude, honestly, there are some stories that I cannot tell here, but Spud is actually the coolest guy I've met. Like there's a lot behind that, very kind exterior. You got some stories, my friend.
Thank you, my man. We had a good time in Solana Breakpoint in Amsterdam, guys. I'll leave it at that. Me and Eno and the crew, we were in Amsterdam together for 1 week recently. So I'll let you guys imagine the stories. Maybe we
had a couple heart to hearts, got to learn a little bit of each other's paths,
Definitely, my man. That's what it's all about, guys. Meeting in real life, getting into the community.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's head over to the rest of the market quick. Let's have a look at what Ethereum's doing as well. Ooh, Ethereum's above 2,300. This is amazing, guys. Who's got a trade on? Let me know in the chat. Who's trading right now? On the 1 hour chart. Ooh, this is nice. Look at this.
Yeah,
awesome. This
real
is
nice.
Ethereum. We've had a lot of Bitcoin dominance recently. We've had a lot of Bitcoin dominance, and it's nice to see Ethereum break out of that kind of reclaims. We're still going up. Absolutely mad. That's the 1 minute here.
Yeah.
Wow, that's what we like to see, people. Awesome. 2,000.
If I can just
for me.
Sorry, Solana. Solana. I got a cold right now. So Solana.
Let's have a look at Solana, guys. I know a lot of the community love Solana. Let's have a look. We all love Solana. Let's go on it.
Yeah, we're talking about a 3% pump. I don't know what. Sorry, was that below the belt? A little mean. I shouldn't have said that.
No, don't worry. We all love it here.
I do love the ETH crowd, by the way. I love going to the conferences. You guys are all fun. I love you guys.
Yeah, so I went to ETH Barcelona in the summer. It was a lovely event. A lot of institutional money there as well. But I've got to say, Solana does it better. But what do you think here? We've obviously got some resistance at $65, but look, it's trying to break through that right now. What's your price predictions for Solana? Obviously, once again, guys, not financial advice. This is just Eno's opinion.
I mean, I recently saw a chart that was explaining the bull case, the bear case, and the kind of like most likely case. Yeah. So I think the bear case was something at like 10. The kind of, and this is all by 2030. So this is several years into the future. But like if Solana doesn't really grow and just kind of middles out, you could maybe a price of like 360 was quoted on this chart. And the other thing, what for the bull price was going to be like 3.8K or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Wasn't my research. I don't know where those numbers are coming from. All I know is that I feel that Solana is currently undervalued. That's all I will say. It is currently undervalued. That is just my opinion.
No, it's amazing to hear, and I think I like your opinion as well, because it is once again very long term. We're gonna see peaks and dips in the meantime, but as long as that you have conviction and that you truly believe that Solana is gonna go back to all-time highs, be at $300 plus. Does it really matter what's going on in the short term, guys? Is often my opinion. I know a lot of you guys day trade as well. Of course it matters for that. For day trading, make sure that you're in CSE Plus. That's how you can stay on top of it the best way.
Do you guys also trade perps on CSC Plus?
Yeah.
Okay, so, because like I got some perps on Jupiter right now, and because they have GMX style perps now on Jupiter, and I am losing money. I need help. I am bad at perps. I don't know what I'm doing. I thought I knew what I was doing. Oh my God.
We've got some good traders in here. So Jerome Rayner, Crypto Bro, Alex Bell, Christian Hart. These guys are all some OGs, man. They show a lot of love to CSC Plus, and they're absolutely killing it at the moment. So well done, guys. Right. I think,
cool.
Now let's head in, we'll finish off with ISK, guys. The finale, the piece de resistance. Let's head over. So stablecoins, what are they and how have they evolved? We'll risk through this part a little bit and we'll go straight to the section on ISK. Guys, if you haven't read this article, let me just post it in the chat. It's a super in-depth article. I'm just posting it in the chat there, guys. So if you want to take a look at it yourselves, go take a look. But here I think
this was one of your most this performed pretty well compared. I mean, all of your articles performed pretty well, but this article in particular, I think it got a lot more traction than we thought it would.
Exactly, man. It did really well. I think a lot of people, especially in the bear market, and in the bull, they'll be looking to take profits into stable coins. But a lot of the rhetoric during a bear market is, what stable coin should I be holding? worried about inflation. Here we have, the impossible trinity of stablecoins. Self-sovereign, collateralized algorithm, all of these issues. Let's head down quickly. So the flat peg. I think I'll let you take off of here. If you could describe what a flat coin is to our community, that would be great.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. I love talking about flat coins. But honestly, I think flat coins are a little confusing. Like, I don't know who came up with that term exactly. I think it was Balaji, but anyways, it's like flat purchasing power. But really, let's think about stable coins for a second, guys. Like, what
Yeah.
are stable coins supposed to do? Like, stable coins are supposed to be non-volatile, so meaning that the max drawdown shouldn't be so high. Well, do you see that emoji? What the hell is that?
Yeah,
Never mind.
it wasn't really clear, but
What was that? What was that? Okay, that was weird. Anyways, what was it talking about? I'm so thrown off right now. Anyways, no.
Stable coins, my bro.
Yeah, so like stablecoins are supposed to protect your purchasing power, right? So if you were, let's say that you were to redesign stablecoins, you would not peg it to the US dollar. That's the dumbest idea ever. The reason why you wouldn't peg it to the US dollar or any fiat currency, the pound or the euro or whatever, like the reason why you wouldn't peg a stablecoin to any fiat is because fiat is inflationary by its very nature. Like, if you look at the fiscal policy of literally any country in the world, they prefer a small amount of net positive inflation to encourage economic growth. And that means that currencies that are issued by a central body like the government are, because of the fiscal policy, are going to always be inflationary, right? So if you were to create a stable coin, you would never theoretically peg it to fiat. What you would do is you would want it to be like keeping your purchasing power stable. Your money should be worth exactly the same in 10 years as it's worth today. Like, you shouldn't wake up when you're 60 with cash that's worth less. That's less of a problem in Western countries, but it's still a problem that people aren't really paying attention to. They're losing like 5-6% of the value of their money per year. And so what ISK does is it's a stable coin. You can think of it as like a new currency, right? That's issued by a private company, not a government. We have no fiscal policy. If you guys are familiar with the gold standard, like the gold standard was the US dollar pegged to an ounce of gold at a fixed price. International stable currency is like gold standard 2.0. And the reason why we call it gold standard 2.0 is we're not just pegged to an ounce of gold at a fixed price. We are pegged to a basket of financial assets. So we mean gold, cash, T-bills, corporate bonds, and corporate equity. So stocks, right? Exactly. So these assets are all inversely correlated, which means that in different economic environments, they perform well. And usually at net positive. We have historical annualized returns of 5%. Anyways, this is just a very long way of saying, like, would you rather have a US dollar stablecoin that loses value, or would you rather have a RWA stablecoin that appreciates in value on average 5% every year? So it's kind of like, what would you rather have? I don't know. If you would prefer to hold US dollars, then have fun.
We have a question from Jerome here. Will there be ISK staking?
Yeah, so there are some ways that you can like lend your ISK, like on, let's say, a Solend pool. You won't get a lot of APR on that. However, we are experimenting with different liquidity pools and possibly allowing people to stake their ISK. But even more importantly, all holders of ISC are going to get free airdrops of our governance token at some point next year or the year after. We're targeting next year, by the way, early next year. We'll see. But yeah, all holders of ISC will get airdrops of our governance token. So that's additional yield for you guys.
And also let our audience know, we've spoken about Solana. I think it's a dead giveaway what chain ISK is on. But what led up to the decision for going on Solana?
Yeah, so we chose to launch on Solana and stay on Solana for two reasons. The first reason is because it is, and I know that I'm going to get yelled at by ETH maxis, but it is currently the most performant L1 with zero bridging risk, at least within the ecosystem. And it's sub penny transactions. And the real goal for ISK is to be used for like an actual currency. We're going to target emerging markets first. So we're actually targeting India and Nigeria. Actually, first we're focusing on DeFi, but then shortly followed by India and Nigeria. We want it to be used for actual payments, and so you can't. At least at the time that we launched, like we weren't so sure how we would do that with ETH. It was very obvious how we would do this with Solana, so that's why we launched on Solana. And the second reason why we like essentially why we stayed on Solana is because, and I think that you can agree with this, Spud, is like the Solana community is very small. And so what that means is that we all hype each other's projects. Like I,
Look at what
in
we're
1
doing
year
now.
alone, right. In 1 year alone, I've gotten to know almost every major protocol co-founder in the space. Like I could not do that in ETH. I could not go to a year's worth of events and know everybody. Like so it's just too big, right? Whereas it's much easier to get market share and get people to know what your project is on Solana, and also they are your biggest supporters. So that's
totally
another reason
agree,
why
man.
we stay. Yeah.
Awesome. We have another question. We have two more questions, one from Christian and one from Jerome again. I'll go with Jerome's one here. How do you stop people trading ISK and ruining the flatness?
Yeah, so I think what he's referring to is like unpegging events. And so what I will say is that before we got into stablecoins, we were actually a market maker. So this is a separate entity that's separate from international stable currency. But this market maker, well, we have subject matter expertise about how to maintain pegs. And essentially what we would do is depending on, so the price of the token is equal to the price of the assets. So you guys can see the graph right next to me. But basically the price of the token is the price of the assets. So if the token is, let's say the price of the assets is $1.50, is the token is either above or below $1.50, we either buy or sell ISK on the market, and then we arbitrage on the price of the assets themselves. So essentially, like we can either buy more of the assets or sell the assets, or buy more of the ISK or sell less of the ISK, so that we can arbitrage away the price difference and make a healthy profit in the process.
Guys, I think Eno is from the future because he has already answered Christian's question there. So amazing.
Yeah. Do you keep diversifying what is back to? If bonds went to zero, do you replace them with something else? Or first of all, the likelihood of bonds going to zero is quite small, although I do foresee a future in which the price of American bonds decrease very slowly over time. But I think the likelihood that it's going to go to zero, like overnight, is quite low. But the probability that it'll eventually go to zero over time is quite high. But that being said, the current allocation of the basket is decided by the ISK Council. The ISK Council is currently the ISK team, but our dream is actually to retire someday. So what that means is that as we retire or we leave the project, we want other people from the community to actually take our place on the ISK Council and decide the allocation of our reserves. And there's also, you might be wondering, a daily rebalancing. So right now we have a 20% allocation for each asset class, but obviously as asset prices increase and decrease, the percentages get out of whack. And so basically every day we do a daily rebalancing so that we can get all the assets as close to 20% as we can without it being a dramatic change in the portfolio. So it's always a constant gradual daily rebalancing.
Amazing. And guys, if you want to check this out as well, check out the website. It's isk.money. I know, you know,
our website is so bad. Our website is so bad. I hate our website. I'm working on an update, guys. Please don't look at our current website and think this is a scam. I'm just a very bad designer. So let me. We're getting that updated very soon.
He knows too hard on himself because he, you know, expects excellence. And these guys, you know, they're super ambitious. I'm super bullish on the project, and I like the guys as well. So go follow them on Twitter as well, guys. So that's the ISK team. We have another question from Christian as well. Can you talk about the supply of ISK?
Yeah, sure. So I know that we pre-mint, I don't remember how much we pre-minted, but I think we pre-minted maybe 1 million ISC or maybe 1.5 million ISC. And what I mean by pre-minted is that we already bought the underlying RWAs collateralizing the ISC. So it's like 1 million ISKs. I think, don't quote me on this, but I think 1 million ISKs worth of real world assets that we've already pre-minted. But in terms of the circulating supply, I think it's only like 700K ISC at this point. The reason why we didn't just like fully release the supply is because so part of the airdrop calculation, like how much you get as a user, is kind of like a percentage of total supply. And so like if we just printed the entire million supply of ISC, the majority of that, I mean, it wouldn't go to users. And so like, we just wanted to make sure that we were giving as much to users as possible. And so that's why we haven't minted the full 1 million, because it does affect the calculation.
Yeah, awesome. I think we just mentioned the governance token that we've mentioned here. What are you looking forward to with the governance token? What power will that give to the holders as well? And what's the timeline on that? I think with ISK, great store of value. But for the traders, I almost said degenerate traders, but no, the traders that want to make some money. I think the governance token could be a super lucrative potential as well. Just give a rundown on the governance token. That'd be great.
Yeah, we typically don't start with the governance token because there is a lot of potential there, obviously, but like we don't want people to be joining if they think that this is just a meme coin, right? Like our governance token is really meant to solve a problem with existing stable coins. So I'll just give you the case of Yether. I won't say the real name, but Yether, okay? So Yether has USDY, right? And essentially they gamble with customer deposits. And when the market is good, they make billions of dollars. But when the market's bad, the customer gets wrecked because they get a depeg stablecoin, right? So that's what we're trying to solve. Is it's not right for a stablecoin issuer to be able to gamble with customer deposits. And so what's the point of the governance token? Well, anytime that the ISC council wants to make a change to the reserve allocation or wants to make an investment in something, it needs to be passed through the DAO. So everything is, by the way, is default passed. So actually the governance token is a veto model. So for efficiency's sake, everything is default passed. However, there's a low to medium threshold for vetoing. So essentially the governance tokens get holders, if they don't like an investment that the reserves are going to make, then they can just veto that. And by the way, this future proofs our stablecoins, so where we can exist for 100 years. Like I'm a little concerned about what happens to Yether and Yerkel when their CEOs age out and they retire and you get a new CEO. It's kind of a new ball game, right?
Or sell their Bitcoin. Yether rather. They've got millions, and I think they're not far off MicroStrategy's level of Bitcoin.
Yeah, crazy. Right. So yeah, the governance token is it actually gives you real governance over the stablecoin, which I think matters if you want a stablecoin to last for more than 100 years. And that's how we've architected ISC. But here's the more important thing, guys, the thing that actually matters for you. So we have this paradigm that we like to call grow, burn, earn. So what does that mean? Well, grow, burn, earn describes the economic relationship between ISC, the stablecoin, and the governance token. So essentially, as the stablecoin grows in market cap, a percentage of it will be used to burn governance token, which results in earn for the holders, right? So essentially, that's the model. It's grow, and then you grow ISC. The revenue from ISC goes into burning governance tokens, which rewards governance token holders for a good job governing, and then earn, which is the obvious side effect of good governance. So that's the economic link between ISC and the governance token. So very excited to launch.
Awesome, amazing summary. I think we'll wrap it up there. We'll wrap it up here today. I know what's the time in Chiang Mai right now? Must be coming up to almost midnight. So really appreciate the hustle. This guy, I'm not sure if he even sleeps, guys. Super ambitious. So make sure to go follow them on Twitter. It's at the ISK team. Also, guys, make sure to like, subscribe, turn channel notifications on. Come join CSC Plus. Come join in the Discord. We've got some crazy stuff coming. Lots more. We're going to get Eno involved as well. He's coming over to the Discord. Have a great time, guys. Have a great evening. And I will catch you tomorrow, where we are going to have another FOMO Friday, where we're going to go through NFTs, guys, and we're going to have Crypto Slice on board. So once again, thanks, Eno. Have a great evening, everyone. Take care. Let's go.